Hi, my name is Silvia and today I'm 29 weeks pregnant. This is a yoga video for dynamic vinyasa flow but with the pregnancy modifications. So it will be an usual vinyasa flow, but I will suggest some modifications and adaptations you can do for your pregnancy. So I'm 29 weeks pregnant, and depending on your yoga experience or fitness level, I suggest that you really have to listen to your body, because there is no rule that fits everyone. So feel free to rest whenever you need. If you need to take it a bit slower than the video, please do. If you feel that some exercises are not suitable for you because maybe you are too far along in the pregnancy, or maybe you are in the first trimester and you wouldn't want to do more dynamic things, please feel free to pick and choose whatever you prefer. So all the exercises are safe and doable for pregnancy, but it all depends on your level of yoga, I guess, before before you were pregnant. So we will start by taking a very slow warm-up, lying down on the floor. Lying down on the floor means that you can really prop yourself up however you please. You can have pillows at hands, you can have one of these blocks, the flat and softer ones if you want. So feel free to choose whatever feels more comfortable for you. Find a lying down position and then take the feet as wide as the mat and take the knees touching towards one another, so that we are not putting too much pressure on the lower back. If this is happening for your lower back, then maybe you want to put a pillow underneath to be more comfortable, or maybe again, as I said, one of these. Feel free to prop yourself up and get ready for a nice warm-up. Opening the palms to the ceiling, we will close the eyes and we start to take some breath awareness exercises, paying attention to how the breath comes in through the nose and out through the nose. Every one breath pattern will be different, slower or faster, so feel free to follow your own pattern, your own cycle of breath that doesn't feel constrained, doesn't feel forced. So we will start to become aware of how the breath comes in, blows up the belly, lifts the chest, lift up to the collarbone, and then on the exhalation, see all these muscles emptying, sinking down towards the floor. So visualize your breath coming in through the belly, chest, collarbone, and then exhale, release everything out. Full yogic breath. Let's have 3 more rounds of this, everyone in your own time. I've taken my 3 rounds of breath, but please feel free to stay longer if you want to do some more, or if you want to have some more time for your pattern to come to an end. And then I will gently open the eyes. We'll take the knees towards the chest. And we grab the back of the knees. And we start to rock back and forth very slowly. If this is not suitable for your level of pregnancy or fitness, please feel free to just roll onto one side and then push yourself up to a sitting position. Otherwise, if you feel more energetic and you want to try to rock back and forth until when you have enough momentum, come to a sitting position, crossing the legs. I will face the camera. So sit high and with your back nice and tall, maybe removing the flesh of the bum so that you are sitting high on your sit bone. And again, remember, you can always prop. You can sit on a block, you can sit on a pillow, you can sit against a wall if sitting like that is not too comfortable. Opening the palms on the knees, and we take an inhale, palms to the ceiling, palms to touch. Exhale, we twist towards the right, take the right hand over the left knee. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale, slightly twisting towards the left. Let's remember that during pregnancy we shouldn't twist the belly too much, so it's just a gentle reminder of the twist that we would normally do. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale, take the hands behind the back, fingertips to the floor, push the chest forward, look up towards the ceiling. Come back to neutral spine. Take the hands in front of your face, interlace the fingers, push the hands away, opening the shoulder blades, looking down towards your belly. And release. And then I will show you how to do it. We will interlace the hands behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, possibly palms always together. And then we lift the hands off the back for a nice stretch in the shoulders. And release the hands. And then coming back to a sitting position, crossing the legs, resting the hands on the knees once again. And we will do some pelvic floor muscles exercises. So connecting with the breath, we will do only a few rounds, maybe 5 rounds of breath, again in through the nose and out through the nose. Remember the yogic breath. And on each inhalation we will try to focus on the pelvic floor muscles. So we will squeeze for the whole duration of your inhale, and then you will release for the whole duration of the exhalation. So when you squeeze the pelvic floor muscles, I'm sure as you're pregnant you've been told by your you've been used to reading about the pelvic floor exercises. So let's make sure that we're only squeezing the hammock of the pelvic floor without squeezing the bum cheeks or the anus muscles. So only the pelvic floor muscles. So maybe you want to close the eyes to focus better. On the inhale, squeeze for the whole duration, and on the exhale, release. We'll do it 4 more times. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. I'm using my hands just for a more visual effect. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. And I believe there is one more. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Again, everyone's breath pattern is different, so whichever, if you want to slow it down or have a bit more time, please do. And then once you've finished, we will come to our all 4 position. So let's make sure that the all 4 position is nice and balanced, with the shoulders on top of the wrists and the hips on top of the knees. And we will start doing some cat-cow stretches. Cat-cows, or even just staying in all 4 position, is a very quite relaxing exercise for pregnancy, because especially if you are later in the 3rd trimester, it takes the weight of the bum off the hips, so it just releases little less stress on the hip joints, because the baby is just resting in the hammock of your belly basically right now. So we will inhale, tilt the tailbone up, lift the chest, look up, shoulders away from the ears for the whole duration of the inhalation, and then exhale, we round the back, tilt the pelvis down, look down towards your belly button, separate the shoulder blades, and again in your own time, 1 inhalation is 1 movement, and on the exhalation is the opposite. In your own time, everyone's breath pattern is different. Inhale and exhale. Twice more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. When you've done your last exhalation, come to neutral spine, tuck the toes under, and let's sit briefly behind without actually really sitting. We're still putting pressure on our hands. This way we're just gonna stretch the plantar fascia, which is the connective tissue that covers the whole of the foot and the whole of the body really. So this way our feet, maybe during pregnancy, they change, they can change the shape of the arches. So let's remember to stretch our feet as well. We'll do some more feet stretches later on. Then coming back here with the hands towards the center or the top of the mat, and we start to lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling, coming to your first downward facing dog. Shoulders away from the ears, lifting the kneecaps to engage the legs. If your heels are not on the floor, that's absolutely fine. If you need to bend your knees, that's absolutely fine. As long as your back is nice and straight, like in a V going all the way down, and your pelvis is up towards the ceiling, it doesn't matter if your heels are on the floor or not. They will be one day when your hamstrings will be more flexible. And staying here for 1 or 2 breaths. And then we will start to look towards the hands, walk the feet towards the top of the mat. During pregnancy, our feet in every yoga position will always be hip width apart or even a little bit further apart, rather than toes to touch. And here we will hug the elbows and hang the head loose, shake the head from side to side or up and down. Then release the elbows, slowly bend the knees and slowly roll up the spine vertebra by vertebra. Taking the shoulders to the back, opening the palms to the ceiling, and again here starting in Tadasana. You can easily, if you're still not showing and the belly is not in the way, you can easily have your toes together, the big toes to touch. Otherwise, if you feel like your balance is changed and you need more space for the bump, then feel free to be with hip width apart. Tucking the tailbone slightly under. Here we will engage the pelvic floor muscles as well. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. And then we start the sun salutations. Inhale, hands to the ceiling, palms to touch. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the mat or to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step the right foot back, followed by the other. Dropping down on the knees, slowly lowering down, elbows to the rib cage. Inhale, lift the chest, baby cobra, keep the elbows bent. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And breathe. At any time, I will make a little pause for a brief variation if you are more advanced into your pregnancy, so into the 3rd trimester. If going down towards the floor this way or on the knees is not doable because of your belly, then feel free to just stay in all 4 position. So taking from here, you take the knees down and slowly you go down, but without actually ever being with your belly down. And then you can maybe lift into upward facing dog or cobra or baby cobra. On the next inhale, look towards the hands, step the right foot forward, followed by the other, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, hands to the ceiling, palms to touch. Exhale, release. We do one more round of sun salutations A. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step the right foot back, followed by the other. Option to be down on your knees, or if you feel more energetic or you're earlier in the pregnancy, feel free to go down to Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows tight to the rib cage, going towards the floor. Without touching the floor, inhale, roll over the toes, upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog, and breathe. On the next inhale, look towards the hands, step the right foot forward, followed by the other, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, hands to the ceiling, palms to touch. Exhale, release. We'll do one round of sun salutation B. Let's try. Inhale to the ceiling, palms to touch. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the mat or to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back, followed by the other. Again, your option, go down from your knees or from high plank. Slowly exhaling, we go down. Inhale, roll over the toes, lift the chest, upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot in between the hands, left foot on the floor, 45 degrees angle. We come up to warrior one, hands to the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping the right foot back, slowly lowering down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot in between the hands, right foot on the floor, 45 degrees angle, coming up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping the left foot to the back, slowly going down, option on your knees. Inhale, lift the chest, upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. And breathe. And let's take a child's pose here. Take the knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch, and rest your forehead on the floor. If child's pose is uncomfortable for you, depending on your stage of pregnancy, you can have a pillow at hand and maybe rest on the pillow. So it's a bit more, you have a bit more height. So maybe your hips and your head want to be at the same level. So feel free to prop yourself up whenever you need to rest, anytime. And then we will tuck the toes under, we lift to downward facing dog once again. Inhale, look towards the hands, step the right foot forward, followed by the other, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, hands to the ceiling, palms to touch. Exhale, release. And let's take a breather here again into Tadasana. So again, either big toes to touch, feet together, or hips width apart with your feet. Opening the palms to the ceiling, slightly tucking the tailbone under. And engaging the pelvic floor muscles. And then from here we will take a big step with the right foot towards the back of the mat. We place the foot at 90 degrees angle, so pointing, in my case pointing towards the camera. Front foot is pointing straight ahead. Bending the front knee, we come to warrior two. Arms in one straight line, looking towards your left middle finger, so looking forward, warrior pose. Strengthen your legs. Softness in your shoulders. Inhale, take the left elbow onto the left knee and open the right arm over towards the ceiling into a diagonal line. Imagine you want to create a straight line up from your fingertips down until your toes. And the left elbow will not sinking down into the shoulder. We're pushing the shoulder away. Nice and extended angle pose. And then we look down towards the floor. We take either a prop on the floor in front of our foot or just the fingertips down. Shuffle the right foot along. Let's use the prop maybe. And then we start to lift the right foot off the mat. Open the right hip on top of the left and open the right hand towards the ceiling into half moon balance. If the balance is too much, you can always have the right foot down, because sometimes with our growing bump, the center of balance changes during pregnancy, so that's absolutely fine. And then release the prop, take both hands down on the floor, come to a high lunge briefly, and then take the foot to the back, Slowly lower down from high plank or maybe from your knees. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then we take the right foot in between the hands. This time the left foot is pointing 90 degrees angle. We come to warrior two on the opposite side. Arms in one straight line. Inhale, take the right elbow onto the right knee, left arm over in a diagonal line, pushing with your elbow away from your knee. Looking down towards the floor, inhale, come to your half moon, maybe placing the prop or maybe just the fingertips. Start to lift the foot off the mat, left hand to the ceiling as well. If the balance is too much of a challenge, take the left fingertips, toes down to the floor. Coming to half moon balance, strengthening the core. And then release the prop, take both hands down on the floor, come to high lunge. Take the right foot to the back. Slowly we go down, choose your option here, you know by now. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale to downward facing dog. And breathe. On the next inhale, we start to walk the feet towards the top of the mat, towards our hands. We take the hands on the hips, bending the knees, slowly coming all the way up. And here we try to either have the big toes to touch, as I said before, or hip width apart, up to you. For now, for me, it's comfortable to have the feet together, so we do like that. We take the hands in prayer. Take a breath here or two. And then we start to lift the right knee off the mat, off the floor, bending to a 90 degrees angle, flexing the foot. If the balance again has changed and you want to hold on to a chair or to the wall, that's fine. And then we start to kick the right foot towards the back, squaring the hips down towards the floor for warrior three. Looking down towards the floor, hips are square and pointing down. Option to have the hands in prayer or to extend the arms towards the front of the room for your warrior three strengthening balance. Take the hands back in prayer, bend the front knee and come to a high lunge. Straightening the back leg, and then we will inhale, we extend the front leg as well. On the exhale, we bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Hold. Take the right hand next to the left foot and lift the left hand towards the ceiling. On the other side, twisting the chest into reverse lunge. And then take both hands down and we step the left foot to downward facing dog straight away. And then we walk the feet towards our hands. And again, hands on the hips, slowly bending the knees, coming all the way up. And again, take a breather if you need one, opening the chest, the palms, opening the chest, engaging the pelvic floor. Take the hands in prayer, take your either big toes to touch or hip width apart feet. And then we lift the left knee, bending the knee to 90 degrees angle, flexing the foot. And then kicking the left foot to the back, coming to warrior three on the other side. Hips are square towards the floor, pointing down. Bending the front knee, coming to a high lunge, extending the back leg. And on the inhale, we extend the front leg as well. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend, let's strengthen those legs. Exhale, bend, hold. Take the left hand next to the left foot and open the right hand to the ceiling into twisted lunge. And then take both hands down and we step to downward facing dog. And then we walk the feet towards the hands once again. Take the hands on the hips, slowly coming all the way up. And then from here, let's take a big step with the right foot towards the back, and we will face the I will face the camera. So face one side of the room. Toes can be either pigeon in, so slightly pointing inwards, or parallel. Quite large stance here. Taking the hands in prayer. And then taking the hands to the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, take the hands down towards the floor, fold forward, take the hands in the line between the arches of your feet and try to drag the head down towards the floor as well. Whether the head reaches the floor or not is not important. The most important thing is that we're stretching the hamstrings and you're directing your head down towards the floor. And breathe. Inhale, come halfway up, fingertips to the floor. Interlace the hands behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And exhale, take the head down again. Take the hands over. Imagine you want to place the hands over towards the floor. And then here we bend the knees, we're slowly coming all the way up. Release the hands. This time take the heels towards the midline and toes slightly out. If that's too much of a struggle, then your legs should be a little bit closer together. We take the hands in prayer and we squat into Malasana. We squat into Goddess squat. Taking the thighs possibly parallel to the floor for a nice deep squat, engaging the glutes, engaging the pelvic floor. Taking the hands to the ceiling maybe. And then slowly release, coming all the way up. And then we take a big step towards the front of the room. And we take one vinyasa. Inhale, hands to the ceiling, palms to touch. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the mat or to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step the right foot back, followed by the other, dropping down on the knees if you need, slowly lowering down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale to downward facing dog. And then we walk the hands towards our feet this time, or even maybe you want to go towards the middle of the mat. Take the hands on the hips, slowly coming all the way up. And then I will face the camera for this, but obviously you don't need to change. We take the hands in prayer, big toes to touch if possible. If not, the option, hip width apart. Starting to balance for Vrikshasana tree pose. Picking up the right foot, we place it either on the upper thigh, calf or floor. So choose your option. And then once you have the foot maybe against the leg, press the foot towards the thigh. The hands also pressing one towards the other, towards the midline. Then start to lock your gaze towards something on the floor, fixed on the floor. Maybe if you want to challenge a little bit more your balance, extend the arms towards the ceiling like the branches of a tree. And then take the hands back in prayer, take the foot down, maybe shake the legs, and then start over on the other side. Taking the left foot, placing it wherever feels more comfortable. If you need a chair or your wall next to you for balance, please feel free. Fixing your gaze towards the floor, extending the arms towards the ceiling. And then take the hands back in prayer, the foot down, shake the legs, open the arms and the hands. And this time we will take the feet a little bit wider than the hip, so hip bones are this. So wider than the hip bones. We take the hands on the hips and we will start bending the knees, we will circle the hips. This could be quite comfortable especially if you are later on in your pregnancy, to release some stress of the hip joints, of the lower back, gently, like as if you were dancing. And then maybe change directions. See how far you can go with your hips. Explore here your range of motion, where it feels comfortable, where it doesn't feel comfortable. And then coming back to stillness, maybe shake the legs. And this time we will take a step to the front of the mat. And we will take the hands in prayer. And we will take one knee off to a bend in 90 degrees angle. And this time we place the right ankle on top of the left knee. And we bend the left knee into a squat, into one leg chair. Again, for your balance, feel free to have a chair or next to the furniture, some pieces of furniture if you want. Slowly coming back up, release, shake legs, other side. Bend the left knee to 90 degrees, place the left ankle on top of the right knee, bend the right knee back nice and tall. We just squat with our right leg. And then coming back up, release the hands. This time we will do the full Utkatasana chair pose, bending both knees. We move the arm towards the ceiling. Either you can look up towards your hands or down towards the floor. And then take both hands down towards the floor. If you need to open your feet a bit more here, please do. Grab hold of your big toes with your two peace fingers into a hook. And then inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, move the chest closer to your thighs. If that means that you have to have your knees bent in this pose, that's absolutely fine. As long as we try to have a stretch of the hamstrings. Inhale, fingertips to the floor. Take the hands on the hips, exhale. Inhale, slowly coming all the way up. And then from here, we take one more vinyasa and we transition to a sitting position. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, take the right foot back, followed by the other. And here, directly we drop down on the knees. Take the hands towards your knees. And here, transition to a sitting position. And once you've transitioned to your cross-legged sitting position, we will take the soles of the feet together and take the heels as close as possible towards your pubic bone. Here, if you need to, if that's a bit of a strain onto your back or onto your adductor muscles on the inner thighs, maybe you want to sit against the wall or against a sofa or something like that, you can do that. Otherwise, interlace the hands and place them over your feet, sitting nice and tall. Inhale, slightly lift the chest. And exhale, fold forward. Let's try not to bend, not to round the back. So back is always nice and straight. And we're just trying to open in the hips up. And let's remember that during pregnancy, your body produces the hormone relaxin. So your joints and muscles are more easily open, so to say. So they are more stretchable, basically. So it's always important to remember not to overstretch to what your previous level of stretch or fitness was before pregnancy. So we try not to overstretch. So wherever you feel like today you can do the splits, maybe you need to take it back because it's probably more like the hormones kicking in. and helping you opening up. Then we come all the way up, and then we move the feet further away from us with our creating a nice diamond shape with our legs, grabbing hold of the shins or the ankles. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, this time we can round the back and try to direct your head towards your feet. Even if the head is not getting anywhere, your feet, especially if you are already further along in your pregnancy, or if even before you will never be able to take your head towards your feet. Even if you have to be here, that's absolutely fine. We're just trying to open in the hips a little bit up. Keep breathing. And then slowly coming back up. And this time we will extend the legs to the front. I'm gonna change the way I face, but you don't need to. So extend the legs to the front. Removing the flesh off the bum is a good idea, so that you're sitting nice and tall onto your sit bone. Again, remember, you can prop pillows, you can prop with one of the blocks, or you can prop with one of the bricks if you feel more of a solid surface. Or you can comfortably sit on the floor, or even if that's a strain on your back, you can sit again against a wall or a sofa. Take the hands behind towards the sides with the fingertips pointing down, or the full flat hands down. Lifting the chest, flexing the feet to engage the legs, standing here in Dandasana staff pose, strengthening the quads, strengthening the shoulders by drawing them slightly towards one another, the shoulder blades. And then we will inhale, hands to the ceiling, and we will exhale. We take a fold forward, either towards your shins, ankles, or feet with your big toes grabbed. Again, this is all depending on your fitness, stretching level before pregnancy. So if you have to be here, we're trying not to round the back, so we don't want to do that. We want to have the back nice and straight. So if that means that you have to be here and it looks like you're not actually folding forward at all, you actually are, and it's very likely that your hamstring are stretching anyway. So this is where you have to be. When you already start to do this with your shoulders and lower back, that's where you don't have to be. So for me, I'm already I can go a little bit further down, so that's fine, but feel free to choose your option and to listen to your body. With every inhalation, lift the chest, and with every exhalation, move closer towards your goal, which can be, again, like I said, anywhere, either your shins or ankles. And then slowly coming back up and release. And then take the right leg to a bend, take the knee on the floor, right foot next to the left inner thigh. We will frame the left foot with our hands, so fingertips down. We twist the chest slightly towards that leg. And then we will inhale, hands to the ceiling. Exhale, hands towards that leg, either again shin, ankle, or foot. Or maybe you can bind your head, your hands and wrist over the foot. Again, all depending on your pre-pregnancy stretch level. We don't want to overstretch. And breathe. Feel a nice opening of the hamstrings. And then slowly coming back up. And we will attempt this. If that's not for you, please feel free to have the modification that I will suggest. Option 1, to grab hold of your right foot and place it into your left inner arm, like if you were holding your baby already. In fact, this is called rock the baby. So you can either hold it from here or from there. And then I will say option 2, so if that's not for you at all, you can just have your foot here on the floor, hands by the side, and just stay here. So I will demonstrate option 1 for whoever wants to try. And then once you have your baby, which is your shin, your leg, in your arms, then pull it closer to your chest. Maybe you will be able to feel a stretch into your glutes, right glutes. And then if you have it like this, then you can rock it from side to side, rocking the baby. And then release. If you were doing option 2, then extend the leg to the front And take the left leg to a bend, left foot next to the right inner thigh, twisting towards the right leg with your chest slightly. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale towards that leg, folding forward again. Reach either for your shin, ankle or foot. Feel a stretch in the right hamstrings. Always good to stretch the hamstrings, as we probably are always sitting down on a chair for work, or we can be less active during pregnancy than we were, maybe or maybe not. Everyone is different. So it's always good to give the hamstring a little stretch. And then coming back up, and then choose your option again for either rock the baby or take just the foot down on the floor. Once you have your baby in your arms, pull it closer to your chest and then rock it from side to side. And then release. Take the leg to an extension again. And this time we will take the hands behind the back with the fingertips pointing towards your bum. Bend the knees, feet active on the floor, hip width apart. And then we will start to lift the hips off the mat, coming to reverse tabletop. Strengthening the shoulders here because you're pushing the chest up. With the glutes, you're pushing your hips up. Feet are active on the floor, so don't let your feet flap around. So feet are pushing your weight away from the mat. You can either look up, forward, up, or back if your neck allows it. And then when you get tired, start to come down. Maybe you shake the wrists for a moment. We will do a second version of this. And then place the hands again where they were. And this time we extend the legs to the front, pointing the toes. And then we will lift the hips off the mat, squeezing the glutes, coming to reverse plank. If this is not doable for you, you can just be here with your fingers pointing, hands by the side, by the back actually, fingertips down, pushing the chest forward, just a more comfortable sitting, kind of tilting backwards position. Otherwise, stay in reverse plank. Slowly take it down. Shake the wrists once again. And let's do some actually pointing and flexing of the feet. Let's remember to stretch and strengthen our feet as well. So sitting like this again, like in Dandasana, like we were before, staff pose. Here we flex the feet as much as you can. And then we point like a ballerina shape. Point as much as you can. Feel how the muscles of the shins get a nice stretch. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. And then release, maybe shake the legs. And we will come to an all-four position, just briefly, because we will transition to our roll of the hips. So we take the left foot towards not the midline of the mat, but the left side of the mat. We come up, we take the hands on the hips. If you need a chair or the wall, please feel free. Or maybe even if you need blocks like this, that's fine as well. And then here we will try to explore again our hip circles like we did before when we were standing. Here is good, we can get acquainted with some birthing position, for example, where to reduce the pain of the contraction, or we can try to explore how much our hips can open, change direction. And then let's change leg. Take the hands down, transition to the other side. Right foot towards the outside of the right, towards the outer side of the mat on the right side. And again, hands on the hips or whichever prop you need for balance, and then hip circles on the other side. Now change direction, and then come to stillness. Take the hands on the mat, and we come to a kneeling position. Again, if kneeling is uncomfortable, maybe your joints of your knees are, well, they've always been in pain maybe, or you find it uncomfortable. It's a nice trick to have either one of these, for example, underneath, and one of these. All of these can be obviously substituted with a pillow. So you kind of sit on it like if you were riding a bike, or anything can be, if you have a bolster or a pillow, that's fine as well. If you feel comfortable by just kneeling like this, that's absolutely fine. And we will do some shoulder stretches. I will now turn around so you can see what I'm doing with my hands and my arms. We take the left arm to a big circle behind, bend the elbow, try to touch the left shoulder blade with your thumb maybe, and then take the right arm up and try to link hands behind. Some people are very flexible at this. Some people, maybe you just want to hold on to your t-shirt, that's fine. And then release, maybe shake the arms and change side. Right arm comes round. Bend. For example, my right hand side is much tighter than the left, so I always need to give it a little bit of a push. And if I'm not too warmed up, actually they don't even touch at all. And then release. And coming back down, we come to a lying down position. I'm going to actually turn around this way, I prefer it. Coming down onto your back, and we will take the feet on the floor with the heels as close as possible towards your bum, hands down on the floor. Coming to modified bridge, we will extend and we will lift the hips towards the ceiling, squeezing the glutes. So here we are strengthening our psoas muscles. That if we're sitting down all the time, psoas muscle gets quite weak. We're strengthening the glutes, strengthening the shoulders, strengthening the quads, feet active on the floor, and then slowly coming back down. And then we will do a second version, a restorative version, taking one of the props that you have, or the pillow or cushion. And we take the hips towards the ceiling again briefly, and then we place the prop, if you have the block or the brick, we place it underneath your sacrum, and then you literally just rest your hips, so your sacrum bone is resting onto the hip, onto the prop, and it's very, very relaxing. It's kind of like, I always feel like that my back becomes kind of weightless. It's quite nice and restorative. Take the weight away from your hips and legs. Take a deep breath here, and then remove the prop. And then take the knees towards your chest. If this is uncomfortable, again, remember to prop up. Taking the knees towards the chest, we will circle the knees to one side. And then to the other. And then we will try a happy baby pose, but if that's not doable for you, either because you are too heavily pregnant or because of your flexibility, you think you are not able to. So if you wish, you can stay here just with your knees towards your chest. Otherwise, let's take the feet towards the floor, the ceiling, flexing the feet, grabbing hold of the outer edges of the feet, And then taking the knees down towards the floor, opening the hips even more into happy baby pose. And then maybe here can come natural to move slowly from side to side. And then coming to a stillness, we take the legs towards the ceiling, both of them pointing the feet, straightening the legs. If your legs need to be here a little bit bent, that's absolutely fine. We're just trying to flex and point the feet again. So we will flex, so we will point towards the ceiling and then flex and point and flex. See, when you flex, the calves relax a bit and stretch. Point and flex, point and flex, and then take the legs down, maybe give them a shake. We take the soles of the feet together and we place the feet on the floor and take the feet closer to your pubic bone or towards your pelvis. Excuse me. We will open the palms to the ceiling, palms of the hands, and just let gravity do the work here in this pose, opening up the hips. Maybe you want to close the eyes. And then coming back up, we just take this time the legs, we extend the legs towards the mat, and here we start our relaxation, a few minutes of relaxation. So here, feel free, for example, here I will add a prop underneath my head. If you want to wear a blanket or wear more layers of clothing, that's fine. Socks, because your body will get cold quite quickly. And we will open the palms to the ceiling if you want to feel nice and if you want to withdraw all the senses, even the sense of touch, or if you want to feel more grounded, you can have your hands on your belly, maybe here connecting with your baby. That could be quite nice as well, to kind of relax and meditate with your baby. Maybe if you want to remove the flesh of your bum, basically adjust your body to a comfortable position. I will actually put a pillow underneath my here so that it feels a bit softer, and I will actually bend my knees and take the knees like we started, take the knees towards one another, feet as wide as the mat, and this takes some pressure off the lower back. And here start to really relax, soften the muscles. Imagine you want to melt all the muscles towards the floor. Practicing stillness of the body and stillness of the mind. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Softening the spot in between the eyebrows, your third eye. Softening your cheeks. Unclenching the jaw. Slightly part the lips. Move the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. We carry a lot of tension around our mouth, most of the time subconsciously. So let's become aware of a tension-free face, muscles around the face. Become aware of the weight of your eyeballs against the back of the skull. Soften the eyeballs in the eye sockets. Soften the throat. Soften the chest. Soften the heart. Take as many deep inhales and exhales as you wish. And then slowly become aware of the surrounding noises, lights in the room. Start to move your fingers and toes, wriggle them, add some movements to your body. Maybe you want to take a full body stretch, taking the arms over your head. I'm going to extend my legs as well. And then I will remove the prop from my lower back and we will roll onto our left hand side. If you have already a prop for a pillow, that's great. Otherwise you can use your hands, your arms for a pillow. Keep the eyes closed. Rest here for a moment. Maybe here you want to touch your belly again for connection with your baby. And then using your right hand on the floor, push yourself up to a sitting position. Take as much time as you need. Keep the eyes closed. Come into a cross-legged sitting position. Take the hands in prayer. We will finish with 3 rounds of ohms, and let's make the ohm resonate through your body. So let's make, once you start from your mouth, then close the mouth and feel the sound travel through the body and have the vibration of the ohm resonate through your belly, through your baby. It could be a very nice way to relax with your baby, to connect and meditate. So take the hands in prayer, inhale through the nose and exhale through and then gently move the prayer towards your forehead for kind thoughts. Move your prayer towards your mouth for kind words. Move your prayer back to your heart for kind actions. And then take the hands on your belly and share some love, even more than you normally do, with your baby. And then taking the hands back in prayer, bowing down, Namaste. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you find it useful and relaxing or energizing, whatever you're looking for in a yoga class. And I hope you enjoyed and have a safe rest of the pregnancy.
Thank you for watching the video. Please like and click on the subscribe button for more amazing videos.